Right, today I feel like I want to record quite a number of videos, so this is my second one, and we still greet each other. I greet you all, and I love you, Jambo Africa, Jambo Africa, Molwen, Magadi. As I've said on my previous video, that when we greet each other in Africa, we put our hands together. It's a sign of respect, and we have to respect everyone that you are greeting, because we are not fighting. So I love you. If I love you, I have to respect you, and I have to greet you as well. How are you doing? How's your family? That's what we do in Africa. We ask about your family. We are not Germans or other parts of the world where they just say, hi, how are you? Good. That's it. That's it. They will never say, if you say how are you to them, they don't say very well, thank you, and how are you? They don't do that. They just go hi. So I always say to my kids when they do that, are you German? Not in an insulting way. I've got quite a few friends from Germany, so I always joke with my family as such. So guys, today I've recorded another video already. This is the second one. The second one, it's about corruption. Corruption. And my question is, today I want to start with a question. My question is, who is not corrupt? It's not about who is corrupt. No, who is not corrupt. Why am I saying this? I believe, before I forget, because I don't have any notes with me, I'm getting old, and sometimes I lose the information. So let me go straight to the point. Corruption. I want to know, I want to go and live. If there is a country in this world that is not corrupt, I want to know which country is that. I want to go and live there. Tell me one country that you say, this country is not corrupt. Then when you've done that, tell me the definition of corruption. Your definition of corruption. What is your definition of corruption? Because some of the issues that I read and I see on our news that are considered to be corruption, I'm like, then all of us, we're going to be arrested, Buddha. You see? Because nepotism, in some circles, it's something noble. You are elected as a president, you can bring your daughter, or like what they did in America, you bring your daughter who works around you. In Africa, if you do that your daughter or son works with you as a president of a country, that's corruption. So in other parts of the world, it's not. In other parts of the world, it is. See? When you say to the people, I've got networks, or you don't say it, you just show it in your life. I know which office to knock, you are connected, and you have got, if I want to sell this thing, then you are having an advantage using your relations over other people. And that can be seen by some people as corruption. That can be corruption as well. You see? So that's why I said you have then to define what is corruption to you. Then we'll see, okay, according to you, corruption is this, so maybe this is not corruption. Because many people, when they say corruption, they mean the government is stealing their money. They don't look at themselves like, I might be corrupt. Guess what? All these leaders that we see in our governments, they are coming from our society. They are exactly a mirror of ourselves. They are our brothers, our sisters, our friends, our cousins, family members, citizens of your country. So in a way, when you sit in your own chamber and try to be honest to yourself, which is so difficult, many people, they cannot self-correct, so they can't see their mistakes. So if you are able to self-correct, say to yourself, because my leader is corrupt and he came from our society, our influence, he was a friend, peers, I might as well be corrupt. You might be as well be corrupt. But it's easy to point at other people, isn't it? It's easy to point at other people. Like there is a country in Europe that most dictators or leaders that were told that they are dictators, they are stealing money and so on from our people in Africa, they will bank their money in that country. And you would think that country is an accomplice, isn't it? But it's not. It's not. You're like, So my issue with corruption, for me, if I were a leader and I have to tackle corruption, I would say, if you allege that there is corruption happening and you don't prove it at a certain or in a certain agreed period of time, then you have no case. You have to provide evidence, and that is enough to prosecute the one who is being corrupt. Otherwise, we are going to throw, because I've noticed that there is one race that is considered to be more corrupt, and you're like, the whole corruption thing then loses its strength. We want to be part of it and fight, and then you go like, nah. So I'm telling you today, my thinking, if someone comes to you as a politician and they say, vote for me, I'm going to fight corruption, they are lying, because we are all corrupt. The whole world is corrupt. Every country in this world is corrupt, one way or the other, depending on your definition of corruption. You hear my view, guys? Remember, that's my perspective. It's not a scientifically proven thing. It's not "thus says the Lord." That's me. When I look at the world after living for half a century, I go like, we all corrupt, one way or the other. As I've said, and I didn't give all the definitions of what I think might be concluded as corruption by other people. I've just talked about nepotism, networks, connections, and then then there is the public PMFS, Public Management Finance System. Yeah, is that what? Public Management Finance Act, which is the law. When we had COVID, governments were supposed to make decisions there and there. Not like we'll talk tomorrow, then this is the protocol that they had to buy masks. I've got my mask. I forgot it somewhere here around. I still wear my mask, but that's I'm digressing. Sorry. So governments had to make. I'm not talking of one government. So I'm not talking of government of your country. I'm talking of governments world over had to make a quick decision and procure or get the masks for its people to survive the COVID pandemic that we had recently. So they cannot follow the PMFS. So if they don't follow, that's an irregular expenditure. And if it's an irregular expenditure, that's corruption. And then people go big head, there's corruption that happened during COVID, there's corruption. So you wanted government to tender and that red tape again. Then the masks will come 2 years after COVID. And then you say, what kind of government? What kind of government is this? So guys, I rest my case. That's all I had for you today. There is no country that is not corrupt. And because the leaders of our countries, they come from our society, it means we are complicity in corruption, one way or the other. If you differ with my view, let's do it respectfully, and may superior logic prevail. I love you all, guys.